another Tuesday evening with Homebuyer Academy Live. We're so excited to be here on another evening. I'm your host, Maurice, here with my brother Chad. What's good, Chad?
My bro, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm blessed, man. I'm super blessed. Super grateful that we're here on another Tuesday. Super grateful for just for life, man. I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. I was looking
I
at the
feel
wrong
you,
camera.
brother. I feel you, man. I'm over here myself trying to figure out how to go live on Instagram, but I'm an old man, so technology ain't my thing.
It should be able to go live now if you have it synced up.
Well, looks like I did something wrong, and I'm cooked out here.
Uh,
What's this? Is I think I think that's gosh, I know what I did, and I don't know how it happened. You know, I think I'm on my wife's Instagram, and don't
oh.
tell her
Yeah, because it's not
what.
like we're live or anything, so I ain't gonna.
It's not like we're live or anything, but I'm now seeing this big old T. Nah, well, hey, I hope we figure. I hope I'm working on it. Let me see if I can get this sorted out. Yo, bro, that's so
Well,
crazy.
what her followers need to know about Homebuyer Academy.
They do. They definitely do. So yeah, man. But oh, sure, that's the wrong one again. All right, there we go. But we're here, man. We're here. I'm really happy to be here again, as usual, man. I think it's really dope to get to be in this position that I'm able to, and we're able to really just share, man. Like I really enjoy coming up here because, or doing this because, so often we have something that really works, and we keep it to ourselves. And in this case, something that's really working, we get to bless people with it. So I'm really grateful to be in a position that I've had a track record in the space of success, and I can share it freely, man. So I'm really grateful for that, bro. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. How long you been for the new people that are just not following us? How long you been doing this, man?
Bro, I've been doing real estate since I was 19, man, and the story is pretty interesting because I actually found real estate. I found mortgages when I was down, bro. I was so down. I had just gotten out of well, I can't even say I got out of it because you normally get out of thing that means successfully, right? I was after my first year of college, they just suggested I didn't come back, right? Because I was zooted, man. We used to smoke so much trees. We used to burn so much trees. And like when I came back, I'm like 18, right?
Hmm.
I totally lost myself because I was in this environment where I just wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't sleeping. I was just chilling, hanging out, partying. And it really wore on me as a person. Like my mind was totally different. I couldn't communicate with the people that I'd known all my life, like my good friends that weren't in that I guess dance hall kind of community. I couldn't relate to them anymore. So it was really scary. But one day I snapped out of that mental fog, and I ended up at a community college, and was in class one day, and this dude is talking about how much money he makes on commissions, and then the next week he's talking about how much money he's making on commissions, and then the next week, after a while, I'm like, this dude is annoying. But then as it kept on going, I'm like, hold up, he's still at it. Let me find out what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he invited me to come interview at this mortgage company, and it literally just changed my whole life. Just the exposure to a whole new world. I remember going into the office, bro, and it was nothing but Italian brothers, Greek dudes, Jewish dudes, and they were mad cool. But man, I'm talking about dressed to the nines, custom made suits. Their shoes would be shiny and their hair slicked back, all the lingo. Man, I just fell in love with it. And starting out, it was all about the pursuit of the money, just get rich or die trying kind of a mentality. But over the course of years, it evolved into something that I've been able to really use as a ministry in a sense, and it's been blessing. It's such a blessing, bro. Such a blessing.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So like, it, and it's great that we're in this space now here, because and you could probably attest to this throughout the years, just to be able to last this long. Because some people get in to like a career path or to a game, and they shift gears. They try this out or that out.
Yep.
I'm a serial entrepreneur, but ever since we locked in this space, I always came back to this area for me, like speaking, mindset, financial and literacy and empowerment. It's like everything keeps bringing me back to like my core thing, being in the bank for like over 8 years, and I was like,
Yeah, man.
why why it takes so long to deviate when I'm just and then we connected on this front, man. It's truly a blessing, man, and truly grateful for that too, because we're building a strong team, guys. As we're building together, guys, y'all know you just see us online, but we have an awesome team on the back end, and I want to shout them out real quick. Shout out to the team. I'm not gonna shout them out because y'all might try to take them from us. So
For real.
I'm just gonna say shout out to the team.
Yeah, man, you got to be careful when you got something good. You don't want to share too much. It's weird.
Yeah.
Cause like man, my pops. So I have a nanny, man, and she's amazing. Like my kids love her. She loves my kids, and she's not even like really a nanny. She's like a family member. You call her auntie.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And my pops come over here, and this man over here trying to like, hey, so we need some help with the house. If you could come through and I'm like, yo, pops, nah, man. She's buying. She ain't going nowhere. So yeah, we have a great team, and you can't have them.
Nope, nah, not at all. So, as we shift gears here, we like to talk about what we're grateful for. I know we kind of went into what we're grateful for, but we want to just, if you guys are in the chat, drop a comment below. I'm grateful for today's July 1st. We made it halfway through the year, and I feel like we've done more this year than we probably, well, for me, if y'all know my story, I this last 6 months is, light years ahead of what I've been doing the past couple years. So it's that bounce back is crazy. So I'm grateful for my family, for my community, just to see the progress of what we building, to see the progress of how my family's growing. Man, I'm just so grateful, bro.
Yo, and I got to give you a lot of credit, man, because you are one resilient brother, man. To come through what you've come through in the last year and a half, I gotta tip my hat off to you because you show up and you serve with love, man, and you're generous. I know if I was where you are, and coming working through what you're working through, I don't know if I'll be able to get out of bed. But you're a strong brother, man. So I wanted to just honor you and your journey, bro.
Thank
You
you, man.
know, and I'm
Appreciate it.
grateful that you're here on this journey with me, man. So
Oh yeah, yeah. We shaking it up, man. We shaking it up.
yeah, man. So it doesn't look like Instagram is gonna work for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that go and get super present, so we
Okay.
could really just take lean in and get just connected to what we're doing, man. So Homebuyer Academy is all about empowering people on their home buying journey. And on this journey, we realize that it's not just something that's a linear path. Just like all great things in life, there are going to be obstacles, there are going to be hurdles, and there are going to be moments where you might doubt yourself. There'll be challenges that you might feel are stronger than you. But what we're here to really encourage you to do is that through all the challenges that you do face, to lean in, to trust the process, and to believe in yourself. Because in the midst of all of the noise that happens, the doubt that comes up because you might feel as if you don't have the money, the fear that might come up because you don't think that your job is giving you enough money or the credit isn't strong enough. It's important to really stay focused on what the vision is and get connected to a team that's going to really be focused on your vision and not just theirs, which might look like a commission check, whether you're working with a real estate agent or a mortgage broker. But to know that there is support out there, I highly recommend for anybody that's looking to get started in their home buying journey, look up a HUD approved housing counseling agency in your community. Because if you could at least start with the education, from there, it could empower you to move forward in this process more empowered, more educated, and knowing what your next steps are. And being a part of Homebuyer Academy is really powerful because while we are real estate professionals, I am a mortgage broker, I am a real estate agent. I realize that my gift isn't here for me. So I'm sharing generously. I coach people generously. I really take pride and I have love in what I do. So you have us as a resource. Lean in, Tap into what we're doing. You have a community here as well with the Home Buyers Club on Facebook. So the 2025 Home Buyer Club, join it. Get the information, get connected to other people who have stories just like yours. So on the other side of it, you could be triumphant as well. So I just wanted to just touch base on that, but then also just let you know that I'm so grateful that you've chosen to be here. You've chosen to give us an opportunity to empower you and to share our journey of ups, downs, and everything in between so that you could get up into home ownership. You could be up with your equity. You could be up with your generational wealth. And it doesn't stop there. This is just the first step, the first chapter. And I hope that we have a whole book full of success to come. So I'm grateful for you. And I'm grateful to take you on this journey with us. All right. So, Brother Mo, I want to turn over to you because, man, when I tell you, one of the greatest things that a coach is going to be able to do for an individual is to make them a mentality monster,
Mhm.
meaning that through all things that you never lose sight of what's the next step for you in your journey. We get derailed by all kinds of things. And what I love about you, my bro, is that when it comes to really mindset, you're a walking living example of what that looks like. So I want to just pass it over to you so that you could really tap into the mentality and the mindset piece to have people really embrace this journey in an empowered way.
Yeah, yeah, bro. So, I know I usually give like a thought for today, but I know a good coach gives good advice, but a great coach listens and responds. So listening to the people over the past couple of weeks, I've encountered a couple of people that renters, and we're very strong advocates in our community for trying to educate churches, organizations about the importance or and the accessibility of home ownership. But this might sound like you if you're even in a Central Florida area or at this mid-year point in your life. We're crossing July 1st. This is usually around the time where rent goes up. And so we've been doing Homebuyer Academy for a couple months now, but having some of these conversations recently, I've had people share with me that their rent went up like 400 to 600. I'm in Leesburg, all the way down to from Lake County to Seminole County to Central Florida. It's been crazy where people have to move, and I was talking to someone this past weekend that was sharing me their story where the rent jumped up so much they had to leave where they were, and so much so that they had to kind of like shake things up. Like they had to move in, uh, with someone while they figured out how to make their next move because they had to be out by a certain time, but they didn't really understand or they really didn't know what the plan was because they couldn't keep up with the rent, and it's getting crazy out here. But in that, I was able to share with these individuals uh, down payment assistance, resources, what we offer here at Homebuyer Academy for free because a lot of them really didn't know. And it's great that we share this information all the time, but it's more important that we connect with people that really don't know this information, right? It's life changing information that we're providing every Tuesday, that we provide every day on our website in our Homebuyer Academy, the Home Buyers Club group. And I just wanted to share that story or those stories rather, because it's a real situation, and that might be your situation right now. You might be frantic because you got to move in the next 30 to 60 days because you can't afford the jump in rent. But in that same 30 to 60 days, you might be able to get a house. So I just wanted to kind of connect with you guys on that front and kind of share with you guys that there are other people out there just like you that might be afraid to jump out there and purchase a home, but it might be the best time ever for you right now.
Real talk, brother.
That was, I'll put my
Real.
speaker hat.
What happened?
That's how I put my speaker hat on.
Nah, I
Certain,
hear you, man.
yeah, but
So, so let's speak about that a little more, right? Like you mentioned that there is somebody in your community, right? A neighbor who is in the process of having to move, and it happened so fast. Now, what we want to emphasize, and this is something that people always talk to me and say, "Oh, yeah, so um, I'm not ready yet, so I'll reach out to you when." Nah, man, that's the wrong mentality. It's the wrong mentality. And what I like to have people realize is start where you are. There
Mm-hmm.
is no requirement for you to be ready. There's no requirement for you to be prepared. All we want to do is get you there. And that's a process in and of itself. And you have to be willing and open to just go through the process of starting to look at your credit. Go through the process of really considering what kind of down payment assistance options are available to you. But it really starts with just that openness and being willing um, to just start the journey.
Mm-hmm.
No conditions, no waiting, no. And again, when I say no waiting, you don't have to wait to start because if you're going to be great at anything, you got to start by being willing to be bad.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing. So start by willing to be bad and start by willing to not know the next steps. But again, if you have, and what we do is very unique because I can't say that I know anybody else that really does just the education element of the home buying journey. So, um, so yeah, I really want you guys to be able to lean in and take advantage of this what we're doing because it's good stuff. It really is.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
definitely one of those things that I didn't recognize until I started having these conversations. Like when I was out in Orlando and just going around the neighborhood. Once I, this past couple of weeks, all of a sudden I started seeing a lot of maybe a couple for sale signs, but a lot of for rent for lease signs. Like just basically in my neighborhood, I would say it's about a good 10. Like
it's crazy.
it's crazy.
So
I've
you
been.
know what's so interesting? I'm gonna actually take a turn on this, right? Because one thing I wanted to talk about today, right? One thing that we were really gonna jump into is home buyer, no, hometown heroes. So hometown heroes, there's been a buzz for the last few months about how, oh yes, hometown heroes is coming, the money's coming, it's gonna be available, and the date that it was set to be released was today. Guess what happened today? It's all gone. Now, I'm sure they're gonna open up the tap and there's gonna be some more options and opportunities available for hometown heroes soon. But man, it went today. All of the money is reserved as of right now. And I was able to get 3 clients in today for hometown heroes. But those who weren't ready, those who weren't working with me for the last 6 months, those who weren't working with me for the last year, and they want to get started now because their lease is up in November or October or December, you got to come up with a contingency plan. The reason why the clients that I was able to get into the Hometown Hero program that went like this today is because opportunity met preparation. And they didn't have the right credit score when they started with me. They do today. They didn't have the income or the assets needed to be able to buy when we started. They do today. And it all happens because they got the game. Imagine you going into a basketball game and your coach telling you every single move that the next team is about to make. Your likelihood of success has gone through the roof because you could be proactive in doing what's required to get the result that you want to get your win. But again, what a lot of people want to do, and I get it, I really, really, really get it. People want to start when they're ready. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? You can't eat the bread until it's baked, but you got to go through the baking process to get to the nice golden crust, right? So this is what that process is. We are baking home buyers. We're getting you ready, and that journey starts now. Because if you start now, when Hometown Heroes opens up on July 1st, you will be one of the people that were prepared and ready to go. But even though that's not going to be a viable option for the whole market, you still want to start because that's when you'll be ready to take advantage when there is another opportunity that comes available. So that was really interesting. But One thing that I really want to lean into, brother, if you could just get back on the screen, is you mentioned that you saw a lot of properties for lease.
Hmm.
And that's happening everywhere. You notice that all of a sudden we went from there not being any properties to buy, hardly being able to find anywhere to rent. Now everything is for sale,
Yeah.
everything is for rent. Isn't that a crazy turnaround?
Yeah, and it gives me like a crazy well, not crazy, but it gives me like this notion that like people are in position as owners to rent out, which probably means that they we talked about weeks like one of my game plans. I'm built enough equity where I'm going to purchase my next house where I can rent this one out, right?
Hey,
And
come
so
on closer. Come closer to the squad, bro. We miss you.
yeah. So I'm thinking about it, man. You know, Orlando, and maybe not quite. I might like touch like this close to Orlando, like
All right, all
right on
right.
the edge of the circle. But yeah, I mean, I'm finding like that might be like the people that like sat on their home, maybe bought like when they got those great rates back in 2020, 2021 that we were talking about last week. Now they've built so much equity. Now that the market's where it's at now, so it's like a win for anyone that purchased a home within the last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And what's going to happen, and I want you to be prepared again, this is where preparation meets opportunity.
Hmm.
What's getting ready to happen is there are going to be a lot of different ways that you'll be able to get involved in the home buying process. One thing that I'm telling you is going to be a very cool opportunity, and those people that are keen and understand how it works, lease with the option to buy is going to be a game changer. Lease with an option to buy. And we're going to go more in depth next week because I'm actually spend some time breaking down the numbers and showing you how to structure it right. Because a lot of people who have, let's say, credit issues and their lease is expiring and they're going to need to buy coming up. The challenge is when you actually get an apartment, the management companies are institutions, they're businesses, they're companies. So they're going to have lawyers, they're going to have structure, and they're going to be quite rigid because they want to make the process as cookie cutter as possible to give themselves the least work as possible. Your lease starts here, it ends here. If you leave this time, you're going to have to pay. If you expire, your lease expires, then you're going to have to leave. If your lease expires and the property needs repairs, you're going to have to lose your deposit. Everything is very when you go with the management company. However, when you're just dealing with Miss Doris down the block, Miss Doris just wants you to do what you say you're going to do, and she's a human. She's just a person. So when you have a reasonable request, you could work with Miss Doris to make sure that her house is rented, even though you're going to go buy your house. You're going to have a world more flexibility dealing with an individual landlord rather than an institutional landlord. A management company, there's going to be very little wiggle room. And let's say you have a 1 year lease that expires in January, but you find the deal of a lifetime here in July. You're going to have to spend bread to break that lease just to find more bread to get into this deal. So, understanding that, what we're going to talk about next week, and I really want you to come check us out because I'm going to break it down really, really well. How are you going to be able to now take your next opportunity and assure yourself to be a homeowner? Some people aren't ready today. And between now and when your lease expires, it just might not be enough time. Cool. If that's you, I want you to start being very conscious with what you're looking for in terms of how to rent. Because if you can rent with an option to buy, what that does for you is it gives you the benefit of being able to be in alignment to purchase the property and you call the shot. And I'll tell you how to structure your contract. That once you get to exercise that option, the seller has to sell you the property. And what you find is there are so many vacant properties throughout Orlando, throughout Central Florida, throughout the country right now that are being up for sale, but they're just sitting there. If you come in with a viable option to be able to say, hey, look, I'm going to put a deposit down. I'd like to lease this with an option to buy. What do you say? You might get a yes, you might get a no. But when you get a yes, what that does for you is it gives you a space where you could move once. You ever realize how much it takes out of you to move from one place to another? Oh my days. Every time that I've moved, I lose pants. I don't know what that's about. Every time that I move from one place to another, I lose pants. Can't find my pants. Well, I mean, I'm wearing pants now, but I'm gonna lose something. For me, it's pants. For you, it might be jewelry. It might be some kind of family heirloom. It could be a book. It could be anything. Something's gonna get lost in that transition, and everybody loses money. So, if your next move is into your future home, you don't lose, you gain. You gain because when you put down your deposit, that's going to count towards your down payment. You gain because when you make a payment, some of that is going to count towards your down payment. You gain because if you structure all of this right, you could find that after a year, you develop your credit, and the portion that holds a lot of people behind is that down payment. You'd be fully prepared in understanding what down payment assistance options, because you can actually still use down payment assistance if you live in that house and you're buying it instead of continuing to rent it. So if you consider down payment assistance options, you also consider the other mechanisms to be able to add to what's called a concessions or a seller's credit. You'll be in a position that you're coming out of pocket on this side of the equation with less money to be able to close because you made your next rental your purchase. And the seller's obligated to sell it to you as long as certain metrics are met. So that is going to be a great opportunity for people who want to buy but not are not ready just yet.
Yeah, and I want to throw some numbers in there because I got to do my research too when we
Yeah,
give
man, no doubt.
figures. Because I wanted to look up like the amount of I'll say change in the market, and without going into depth, just over the last 2 months, there's been like a 6% increase per month with available listings. So, like, just to give you guys the numbers, over the last 2 months in Central Florida alone, there've only been 4,100 homes sold versus third. Well, I'm gonna round it up. 14,000 went on market.
Whoa,
The exact
that's
number is
crazy.
yeah, the exact number is 13,957. So I'm rounding up. So 4,000 in the last 30 to 60 days. 4,000 were sold, but at least 14,000 went on market. And I kind of wanted to piggyback off what you were saying a little bit. One of the advantages that came to my mind about being a homeowner is that when you're looking to buy a home, it's truly based on the appraised value, right? And I learned a long time ago that you can be on the good or the bad side of credit, right? And so if you're on the, I'll say on the good side of credit, when you're using credit to your advantage, if you're an owner but you're renting out, you really don't have to abide by the rules of appraisal or what have you. If you can get the deal, you can get the deal. And that's why people can go up 10% on renting out a house. Whereas when you're purchasing your home, you could be more in the guidelines of like if they're trying to pay too much, you could say, "Oh, you're trying to charge me 400,000 for this house. The appraisal came back 350, so let's talk about it." You know what I'm saying? So that's like an advantage that people probably don't think about, but came to my mind when you were sharing, Chad, what you were going about, and then kind of looking at the numbers here. But when you hear those numbers, what is that kind of like? What first thought that comes to mind?
Depends on what hat I'm wearing. So for me, generally, I'm looking at opportunity. Either side of the market, people ask, Chad, is this a good time to buy? Every time is a good time to buy. The thing is, what can you do to make it a good deal? Because there's bad deals that you could turn into good deals and good deals that you could turn into bad ones based on how you approach it. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, of a bad deal that you could turn into a good deal, nobody really wants to be upside down on the mortgage, right? So if a property is worth 400,000, you don't want to be a hole in the bag for 410, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if that particular property would allow you to cash flow $500 a month and you not have to take on the debt? So you don't get the mortgage, but you get the cash flow. That would be turning a bad deal into a good deal.
True.
And that's all possible by doing what's called a subject to, which that's more in depth, and I'll go in detail into what that could look like in at a later time.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could take a great deal, right,
Yeah.
and end up taking hard money on a property that has a ton of equity because you didn't have the credit, and now you're paying a super high interest rate, and that good deal is now becoming a little more risky. So I say all of that to say that when you tell me that there are 14,000 properties that hit the market and only 3,000 sold, that means that those other 11,000 sellers are looking at that like, ooh, let's make a deal. And if you're ready to buy, you're the belle of the ball.
Yep.
So, what's important to realize is that as a buyer, you are the boss. As a buyer, you are the boss.
That's awesome.
And what's important to understand about that is that even though me as a real estate professional, I might have the expertise, a lot of real estate professionals are highly concerned about their commission. So unfortunately, they can't always think about what's best for you. So in a market like this, you get to keep your powder dry and say, nah, I have more options. I don't have to meet what they're saying. You got to play poker. You got to gamble. You got to be willing to play chicken with sellers in this market because guess what? If they call your bluff, oh well, go next door to the next house. So to make a deal great, understand the market, understand the trend of the value. If the values are trending down, you don't want to meet the seller what they're asking where they're asking. You want to meet the seller where the values are going over the course of the next 6 months to a year. And how you do that is you either make a lower offer or you get concessions. Concessions are when the seller contributes money for your closing costs. They can contribute money to your repairs. I did a deal recently where the seller actually paid off the buyer's car. The seller paid off the buyer's car. So now the debt to income ratio worked for the loan, and the buyer came into a deal with less debt now, right? So it was a game changing scenario, but you have to be willing to think outside the box, but also be willing to, in a market like this, understand that you as the buyer are the value. If we were to go back 2 years ago, the homeowner who was selling and everybody else looking to buy, they were the ones. Now the seats have changed, and now you have to play the game accordingly. And what you can do to get more information and detail on just the structure on how to strategize, book a call. We could spend a half an hour to just go over where you are right now, what's working, what's not working, and how do we get you into a house with the best terms all around.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, could you, because the thought came to mind, could you unpack that a little bit more? I know you gently touched on it as far as like uh, getting like the right realtor for a time like this. But could you speak more to that? Just like based on those numbers, it's like really uh, a buyer's market.
Right,
Like they're the champion. So
right.
that's in that same like line of thing. Could you speak more to like build, I guess building like your team or like what maybe someone looking to buy right now, how can they have that confidence? Like what are some things you could speak to about that?
The first thing I'll tell you is don't hire somebody because they're your family member or friend. That's trash. That's stupid. Don't hire somebody just because they're the family or friend. Because if that's the case, tell them to work for you and don't collect a commission because I'm your family or friend. Nah. you gotta actually interview the right professionals. You got to speak to at least 3 to 5 different real estate agents, at least 3 to 5 mortgage professionals. You want to shop around. You don't go into buy shoes and normally just say, "Oh, I love those." You're normally going to be looking and weighing which one I like this, I like that, which one, or going to different stores before you make your decision. But when you make the biggest investment of your life, you're not that thorough. Come on, you have to be. Take the time when you're interested in a particular area, see who's doing business in that area. Look at whose face is on all of those signs, whose number is on all of those signs, because that's the person that's going to have their finger on the pulse of the market, and they're going to want to impress you. Let them know out the gate, I'm trying to get a seller who's going to give me concessions. I need it. That's what I want. And that person who has their finger on the pulse of the market is going to be more likely to be savvy enough to start the negotiations in a way that's going to work for you. Because after the housewarming, you're going to be the one making the mortgage payment. You're going to be the one paying the taxes. You're going to be the one living life in that home with all of the things that come with it. And your real estate professional is just going to send you a greeting card every now and again. You need to take the time up front to interview the right people that are going to position you to win long term. I would love for you to always pick me, but I might not be your guy. I'm straightforward and I'm real. You see how I'm talking to you now? I don't that filter thing, don't have it. So if you need somebody that's gonna coddle you, but if you need somebody that's gonna be real, I am loving, I'm thorough. I may be a good fit for you. But take the time to find that out. Interview one, interview another, but don't think just because somebody's in real estate that they're all the same. They're not. You're gonna have people that could go into a negotiation and give everything that the seller wants, or go into a negotiation and get more than you could even imagine. Didn't even think that was a possibility. You need that person working for you. So that's what I say. You got to do that. You got to interview and take time.
That's good. That's good.
A great place to get referrals for your real estate professionals, both your lender, your real estate agent, is NARAB, the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. That's a great place to go. You could also look on Aura, ORRA. That's the Orlando Regional Realtor Association. Those are different resources that are going to be able to help you to start, and then from that starting point, look around your neighborhood or the area that you're interested in and just call. You got to be intentional. Don't just be an accident about this process.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. And as I said before, y'all see right up there in the corner, you can go book a call now and just inquire. Like it doesn't hurt to ask. That's one of my mottos. Is it doesn't hurt to ask. You're not
Right.
committed to anything. You're not buying anything. You might just want to seek some information, seek some guidance on your next steps. Go ahead and book a call with us, and we will take care of you.
No
Do you have
doubt.
any? Do you have any closing thoughts or any last minute things you want to share with the people before we wrap it up tonight?
Well, listen, man. One thing is, we're very passionate about this work. I personally believe that home ownership has been a game changer. I know what home ownership has done for my family. I just look at my grandparents. I call it Granny's house, but my grandfather was very, very much there, and it changed just my whole perspective on life and where I'm coming from. Like, I'm a 40-plus-year-old black male, and just the fact that I'm here, I know that I've won. And the reason why I say that is because there's so many traps that are set up for your children. There's so many traps that are set up so that people aren't able to get to the prosperity that you might see on TV or social media. Having a house where my grandparents held it down, and then my mother got her house and they held it down through all kind of life challenges that will happen. We had a foundation, we had a love, we had something that's been able to bloom into such something that I'm just so grateful. I look at all of the family, all of the homeowners in my family, all of my siblings who are homeowners now, and just my nieces and nephews. Stability, fam,
Mhm.
stability. And if you want your children to be happy, If you want your children to do better in school, if you want them to have a more promising future and keep them out the streets, it's so much more likely when you're a homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't save kids that are going to go down the wrong path. It's you're going to lose some. It's just a part of the journey. But statistically, statistically, when you own a home, success is just built into the life. It's just a matter of whether or not the kids that are born into it could accept it or not. So give your family the best chance for success and start the process to get ready to buy a home by calling us, schedule this call, and we can't wait to help you.
No, that's deep right there because I was sitting here reflecting about how many family members of mine have like our homeowners or landowners, right? Like thinking about how we used to spend the summers at my uh grandma's land in North Carolina, or how we would go to New York and visit the other side of the family, visit their home, and then like next week going to visit my parents at their home. They come down to visit me at my home, and then you know the the kids visit y'all at y'all home. They visit their
All the
grand
while,
the other grands at their home. Like they have memories. Like they're not like in a position like they got their footing in. Like, oh,
man,
we
and his cousins,
auntie's
bro.
house, uncle's house, Uncle Mo's house,
Right,
grandma, grandpa's house. Like they can say that thing, like not too many people have that. Like that foundation. That's what I was looking for, and you just got me thinking about that. Like, man, we have a solid foundation, man.
man. I just went to New York, spent some time by one sister's house, then I went to my next sister's house, then I went to my mom's house, then I spent some time by my, and it's like for the kids everywhere they go to know that they're home. Oh my gosh, what a powerful feeling. I have my nephew here from New York right now.
mm,
I couldn't do it if I was a landlord, if I was a tenant. It's not the same. So do what you got to do to experience this life. It's a beautiful thing.
yeah, man, that's awesome, man. I just went through some numbers, but I'm gonna say that for the next time because,
Cool.
um, yeah, definitely got to save that. And so, thank you guys again for joining us on another live here. It's truly an honor to serve you all. If you are a part of any organization or any church or any place that is involved with community impact, we want you to get connected with us. That's another reason for a call booking. You might not be a homeowner, but you might want to bring us out to share this information live with your organization. We have lunch and learns where we'll come and give you this information in a nice workshop. We do workshops and seminars as well. We have a couple lined up coming up. So if you're not bringing us in, be on the lookout for what we're bringing to you in the Central Florida area. And then I'll let you close it out, Chad.
Man, I'm good, brother. I'm so grateful and blessed. I just hope that we were given the opportunity to serve you and give you an opportunity to be empowered on this journey. So bring us along with you to your goal of home ownership.